Hey, hey, Amadalov.
Huh? Hey, let me think about it. Like, turning that very slowly this week. Sure, that's too simple. Compared to things 30, it's you'd be stressed with us, be sick from this year. Or it's even cover me, looking for somebody else's life.
It's hard to understand if you don't take in a true meaning of the destruction of the base of Hamikdash. It's as though you destroyed the base of Hamikdash in your heart.
You take the message, it's all, it's mitzvah.
How many years did the base of Hamikdash stand?
Which one?
420. How long was the Mishkan Shiloh? Which one? 30, well, how many hundred years? Yeah. Anyone?
Second, but I'm
Parrots. How long is the Mishkan Shiloh? How many years? Huh? No. That's what everyone said here. 410, the first base of Mikdash. 420, the second base of Mikdash. How many years was Mikdash Shiloh? Was it 70 or a few hundred?
less than 100.
Was it a few hundred? 369.
Oh,
369 years. It's a long time. And when Eli passed away, it was destroyed. That was the story that we spoke about.
I mean, I thought of the story that it's still buried somewhere.
Rambam says it was destroyed. There could be. The question is different parts. The Maaseh de Moshe, maybe those parts were hidden before they got there. But the Rambam says it was destroyed. It's in Tanakh. It's a story. We spoke about it a little bit. It has to do with the last line we learned. Because when they took out for the battle against the Plishtim, and when they took out the Odin against the better judgment of Eli HaKohen, and then they came back to tell Eli that the Odin was captured and his two sons were killed in battle. He fell off his chair and he broke his spine and he died. The Pasuk says that he was a very old man. How old was he? 100 or 101? Come on, my Tanakh expert. And his daughter-in-law died in childbirth when she had so much pain about what happened. And the Rambam says that they got to Shiloh and they destroyed Shiloh. There is a Jewish community today in Shiloh. They believe that they're sitting on the ruins of the original Shiloh. They have many, many, many proofs.
So the Kalim and Sheila, the same Kalim as Moshe Rabbeinu?
Yeah, yeah. And they just made the walls out of a stone, and then they put the curtains from the Mishkan. 369 years. It's a lot. Noiva Given altogether was only 57 years. But the 369 years, it's a very, very long time. There is a Jewish community now in Shiloh, and they believe that this is the original Shiloh. And one of the
There's Sheila, yeah. North Jerusalem? Directly somewhere
no,
around
it's
Yerushalayim?
not far from Yericho. It's I don't know if I'm not I don't want to say it's look in the map, you'll find it. It's there's a beautiful Jewish community there. There's a wine they sell, the Shiloh wine. You ever buy the Shiloh wine?
Seen it, yeah.
There's a cup. It's a Jewish village, and they built a shul looking like the Mishkan. But one of the they have a ceremony once a year. Women come and dance Chamisha Asa Ba'al. That's their big claim to fame. Women come from all over Israel. Why? Because Chana said her tefillah over there in Mishkan Shiloh. So they have a special ceremony once a year. But the thing is that they claim, why do they know that this is the place of the Beis Hamikdash? Because they say that if you look around the mountain of Shiloh, there is thousands, tens of thousands, millions of broken pieces of clay. You never see such a thing anywhere in the world.
The original?
Yeah.
Really?
Why are they there? Millions of pieces? Because the Torah says the kli cheres asher tevushel ba yeshaver the bekli nechoshish vushel v'shutav b'moyim. So if you cook your korban in a clay dish, you have to break it. You're not allowed to take the dish back with you. So the time of Mishkan Shiloh, they were cooking in clay dishes. So they couldn't go back home with this clay dishes. It was also right. So they would break them and leave it there on the spot. So if you go there today, there is millions and millions spread out all over this place, just around the place where they claim was the Beis Hamikdash. A beautiful, and they give you a beautiful tour of the place. Then if you want, you can drink a little bit of Shiloh wine, and then they'll sell you a little bit of Shiloh wine. But I was there. I took home a few pieces. I figured
They don't mind.
they don't mind. The millions of them. You could take a handful. They don't mind. It's a fully religious city.
And it's really thousands of years old.
Yeah. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Itself.
Huh?
And a business.
Yeah, business. They have a better business. They're selling bottles of wine. Shiloh. There's not one. There's a few factories of wine.
You can't buy that here.
Huh?
You can't buy that here.
Yeah, you should. They sell Shiloh wine. They sell Shiloh wine here. They do. It's a very big business, Israel today, wine. So you have the Mishkan Shiloh, Beis Hamikdash for 369. Noiva given 57 years. First Beis Hamikdash, how much?
Income. 420.
You said different before.
410 and
410. 420.
410.
Okay. Page Pei.
Second 420.
Where is this? Okay, page Pei. You got it? Pei. One more page. The Rebbe said that there's a special thing that the Chazal say that Rebbe said to Yechezkel that he should teach the Jews how to build a Beis Hamikdash. Jews said, "You're asking us about how to build a Beis Hamikdash. We're in Golus." So Rebbe said, because we're in Golus, therefore you should not have the Beis Hamikdash. You should teach them, and it's as if they're building the Beis Hamikdash. Just from learning, it's as if they built the Beis Hamikdash. The Rebbe had a campaign that in the 3 weeks that we should learn the halachas of the Beis Hamikdash. There's Hilchos Beis Hamikdash and the Rambam. Mitzvosecha Midas. There is Hilchos. There is Mitzvosecha Talmud. There are people that go around and they have the replicas of the Beis Hamikdash. Today, if you have next to the Kosel, there's one of the Kosel tours. They have they have the tunnel tours. Have you been to any of the tunnel tours?
I have a little replica over there in the tunnel.
Right, and they also have a cute thing that you could pay a few bucks, a few shekels, not bucks. You pay a few shekel, and they have all over Israel. They have the sticky thing, and then you put on these glasses, and they have a seat that goes like 360, and then it's like a 20-minute show, and it's as if it's a 3D. As if you used to watch it once. You put on those glasses as if you're coming into the Beis Hamikdash, and they go through all the avoid in the Beis Hamikdash, and they go through every place the Beis Hamikdash. You never been there? It's worthwhile next time you're at the Koisel Hamarovi to pay the 25, 26 shek and to do it.
It's nice. The laser show, and you saw the whole history, and laser light show. They even about a half an hour. I taped it on my camera to still have it.
That's nice, but this is educational. This thing is beautiful. You see, they built a replica of the base of Mikdash, and they go through the avodah and they go through the basic
The
things.
Holy Land Hotel has a replica of its second base of English. Where is that? That's in a different city. That's not in Yerushalayim, the Holy Land Hotel.
Well, it's not far,
But it's out of
Yerushalayim.
Yerushalayim.
It's out of the old city. It's in Yerushalayim.
The base is a replica, I think,
Also,
the second base of English.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen it. But this is very easy. It's by the Kaisel Maravi. You get okay. Let's start. Daf Pei Hey Mitzvah Binyan Hamikdash Mitzvah Tzadik Hey. It's Mikdash and Amavos Mikdash Shechante Betoichem. Ela and Advarim Sheikra Binyan Abayis. These are the main things that are in the Binyan Abayis. Oisim Akoidish V'Koidish Kadoshim. Here Lifnei Akoidish Mokim Echa V'Nikra Ulam. The Shlosh of Nikra Heichel. These are really the words of the Rambam. This piece. And the Chinuch quotes it verbatim. V'oisim mechitza echet tzave v'lahechel rechoyke b'menu ke'en kale achotze. They make a wall all around, surrounding the heichel, which has these three things in it. And that is keneged the kale achotze shebemidbar. V'kol ha'muke b'mechitza zu ke'en chotze ro'el moedu azore. V'akel nikra mikdash is all called a mikdash. Voice and Mikdash Kalim Aksuvim Betoida, they do all the Kalim in there. Orem Bekodesh Kadoshim, Menoida, the Shulchan, the Mizbeach, Apnimi Bekodesh, Mizbeach, Chitzim Bazal. So the Rambam is basically showing you that this mitzvah Asla Mikdash is the same as the Mishkan, Shiloi, Givon, first, second base of Mikdash. It's all this. The basics is always the same. You have a Kodesh, you have a Kodesh Kadoshim. You have something in front of the Kodesh HaKadoshim and the Kodesh, that's called a Heichel, and you have a big walls like the Kalei HaChotzer that go around, and those are the basics. Obviously, there's much, much more. There's many, 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 many more details, but that's where the details differ from the Mishkan and the Beis HaMikdash. We know that there's a machlokes between the Rambam and the Ramban how to count the mitzvahs. We all agree there's 613 mitzvahs. The question is, between the Rishonim is how you count it. The Rambam counts, the Beis HaMikdash is one mitzvah. And the Ramban asks, why don't you count, there's a mitzvah to make an Aron, right? He says, the fact that you don't count the Menorah and the Mizbeach and the Shulchan, it's okay, I could forgive you for that. You have to light the candles. The Shmish Kedusha is the menorah. You have to make lacha upon the Shmish Kedusha is the shulchan. You have to bring karbanos. The Shmish Kedusha is the mizbeach. Why doesn't the Rambam count the menorah, the Aron, HaKodesh as a mitzvah? He disagrees with the Rambam and he counts it. And he says at least there's two mitzvahs. The Aron Kodesh is a mitzvah. And the Rambam holds it's only one mitzvah. The shaila is why. The shaila is why. Meforshim back and forth. Why? And the Rebbe has a bir niflo. The Rebbe says that if you look closely, the Rambam and the Ramban have a sharp disagreement. What's the point of the mitzvah of building a Beis HaMikdash? The Rambam writes the reason we build the Beis HaMikdash is bayis muchim liyis makrivim boya karbanos uchoykim boy shalosh pamim bashana. Page Pei. It's a place where we can bring karbanos and we celebrate 3 times a year. The Yidden, that's the main point of the Beis HaMikdash. The rest are all details. The Ramban says that what's the main thing of the Beis HaMikdash is a mokem ashroas hashchina. It's a building where the Eibishter showed the Shechina. So therefore, the Ramban counts it as 2 separate things. He counts the Aron HaKodesh and Mokem She'enim Me'amidah. It's unbelievable. That's what the Luchas stand. And he also counts the Beis HaMikdash, counts it as 2 separate mitzvahs. But the Rambam, the main thing is a place where Eden could celebrate. A place where the Eden could bring karbonos. And the truth is, even if the Kalim are missing in the Beis HaMikdash, that you're allowed to bring korbanos anyway. It's interesting that in this Maimer, that Tzemach Tzedek is in thought is going to go like the Ramban, but the idea of the Mishkan is a place where there's a Shros Ashchina. And the Tzemach Tzedek is going to explain how there's a heavenly Beis Hamikdash, how there's a Beis Hamikdash in heaven, and how the Beis Hamikdash in heaven is mechuvin connected the Beis Hamikdash shalamata. He will explain it al pi Kabbalah, and also explain it in Avodas Hashem. What does it mean b'shechanta b'toichem? We have to make our house, our life, to be like a Beis Hamikdash. What does it mean that we're making our own life to be like a Beis Hamikdash? In order for it to be a Shros Hashchina. In a way, you're going to see that Tzemach Tzedek learns like the Ramban. Yet, when he quotes the Lashon of the mitzvah, he brings the Lashon of the Rambam, word for word. Why? Because when you learn the Maimah, you'll see that the Api Kabbalah and Api Chassidus, Api Avodas Hashem, the reflection, when we say there's a Beis Hamikdash in heaven, a Beis Hamikdash in the earth, the reflection of the Beis Hamikdash on earth from the Beis Hamikdash in heaven is based on the way the Mishkan is, not so much the way the Beis Hamikdash is. Therefore, yeah, let's have one or two. You have someone has $1 on him. Pat, do you have $1? Okay. All right. No, it's good. Thank you very much. Very much. Hold on. I can't continue anything. Finish. Can't give out your own phone at the same time. Here's one. I'm just thinking for
Yo, Trump was king now.
Oh, it's a mention. Stay around. Don't just I'm looking my fortune. Sorry.
Well, is it Jack of all trades?
I'm here with that. So we're going there. How nice go to town. Yeah. That shop I was don't die. Elizabeth and shops that you're with you and me. That's the one like here. I think it's he's the right one. So cool. Tomorrow's I told you very much. God bless. Thank you. So tomorrow, cold day. But if you were you might be on that's yeah, no, it's only on
yeah, here.
No, you gotta say that the real feel is over 100%.
You're gonna have show?
Well, don't I have to. You had to. Just give me one second. You know what this is? Here, this area is glad the power and the place amount is gold.
Benji, you want some Jones?
Ration I have now studying arrows. Yeah, and I think I'll make for anything. I'll make myself.
It's a bunch of it. Let's go to
Anyway, you like the payday? Yeah, very left that's all. He said I did. He left this far as so yeah, don't go. It wouldn't well,
Okay, we're holding on page P. Hey, Mitzvahs Binyan Hamikdash. I'm just going to read from the beginning. I'll read it quickly. Living this Mikdash and over us, the Mikdash Shanta Batoicha, Velam Dvarim Sheikah Binyan Abaises, and the Kodesh, Kodesh Kadoshim, we live near Kodesh, Makamechel, Nikra Ulam, Flosh, Nikra Hechel, Voice of the Chitzech, Tzab Lahechel, Echoikim, and a King Kali, Echotzer, Sheba Midbar, the Kola Mukim, Mechitzazukain, Chotzer, Oil Moiv, Yua Azor, Vakel Nikra Mikdash. Voice of the Mikdash, Akel Maksum, Batoira, Oram, Bekodesh Kadoshim, and Oil, Chul from Zbech, the Kodesh from Zbech, Chitzam Bazar. As I said, even though in thought that Tzemach Tzedek is going to go with the Ramban, which makes sense, it's talking about Siddur, so usually we'll go with the Ramban and such history. But it's just because the reflection of the Beis Hamikdash on earth, it's the same as the heaven, but the way it is, Apipnimius HaTorah, is the way it's in the Mishkan. So he's quoting from the Rambam to show that Ein Bein, the Mishkan Shiloh, Neve Given, the first Beis Hamikdash, the second Beis Hamikdash, it all came down to the same basic thing. So therefore, you understand that if it's a reflection, the way it's in the Mishkan, the Beis Hamikdash is Mishkan, Mikra Mikdash, it's the Hainu Hach. Kein Nidal and use that. Okay. Oven zein zein, Mikdash Vakelim, is Kika, Kavonas, is a Mishkan, who Li is Gile, Lukus Yisrael. The main thing why the Eibishter wanted we should build the Mishkan and the Beis Hamikdash, we should have Gile Lukus, Mishkosovich Chante Betoicham, like the Shalom brings Betoich Kalech and Bechim Yisrael, that the Eibishter wants to be by every Yid. Kachnet Slavino Lassas, Kedugma Seder Ishtalshlus. We should make something similar to heaven on earth. Hanimshich Ma'atzmus, Ein Tzei Baruch, Mavur B'Mishnas Chesidim. Mishnas Chesidim was at a Manuel Chayriki, even though it's not the biggest Makubal in the world. However, we know from the Tzemach Tzedek, we won't learn the Tshuva from the Tzemach Tzedek, that the Alter Rebbe told him that Rebbe Manuel Chayriki in Mishnas Chesidim is an ois ba'ois and mila from the Arizal. But the Arizal, everything is ungenommen by Klal Yisrael. The Arizal didn't go 500 years ago. But it's ungenommen that every word from the Arizal is Kodesh HaKadoshim, is Moshe Misina. Mevor b'Mishnas Chesidim Derech Bria Sa'olam Ketza Oire in Sof Tzimtzum Oire Pina Mokim Shava Machol Tzdaden V'hu Mokim Ogl V'moshech B'toiche Kav Oire Dak B'derech Yiridosei Heir Machol Lahu Ogl Acher Shal Oire Rochok Miyat M'Oire in Sof Redet to Oire Heir Igul Sheni Adasore Agulim Sheheim Ketza Chochma Bina V'Achreim Boim Yud Tzvidis the Yoishe Ad kan dvore b'meseches is al b'meseches alav beis b'seder zeroyim ein sham. The Mishnah Siddim is set up as if it's Shisha Siddur Mishnah, and it's all Kabbalah. That's like funny. He set it up as Shisha Siddur Mishnah. Okay. Lizal said it was Megala to us that when the Eibishter wanted to create the world, loy hoya mokum la midas oilam. It's not the pshat. There was no oilam. Loy hoya mokum. It wasn't shayach. Because it was Ein Sof, there was only Ein Sof. It wasn't Shaykh, there should be a table that has a beginning and a middle and an end. It wasn't Shaykh Yeshus, and it wasn't Shaykh Gvul. So therefore the Eibishter was Mitzamtzum. And he made that the Tzimtzum should be in equal distance everywhere. In order to make that, so the Eibishter made that the equal distance should be in an eagle. He made that there should be, he pushed himself to the side, and he made there should be a mokum cholol, a mokum pon, there's nothing in here. Okay, now there's a void, there's nothing there. We spent a little time on the tzimtzum, yekip shute, nakip shute. We know it's nakip shute, but it's nakip shute. That's not the point right now. Whatever the pshat and the tzimtzum is, after the tzimtzum, the Eibishter decided to bring out an oil in two ways. In a way, vigulim v'yoyshe. There was an awesome oil that was misagel b'fnim. In the equal distance to the middle point, it was misagel like this, and then it was choyzer misagel, and then it was choyzer misagel. There was 10 igulim in the inside. Think of it as a round, and there was 10 lights, and each one going more towards the center. And then there were 10 lights that came down as beams straight. The first light was Kesed of Adam Kadmon, and then was Chochem of Adam Kadmon, and Bina of Adam Kadmon, Malchus of Adam Kadmon. These are all starting from the sides, and those because the ones on the side is closer to the original Ein Sof. It's like funny we're using like such finite Sholem, but we spoke about it Shabbos why we use eagle because this is you get lost in the corners. No one likes to be in a box. So there's the eagle, the bigger eagle, which is closer to the original eagle, and then you're going in and in and in. The igulim are all from Adam Kadmon, And then you have oidas b'chinas yosher, which are the spheres that we know. What's the yosher? Yosher means there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. There's a beam. When I say there's a beam, there's a top, there's a bottom, and there's a middle. Obviously, whatever is b'chinas igulim is awesome. It's be'ein aroich, and those that are b'yosher are less. This is a lot what we're going to talk about in the Maimer. The Lamaila, the Eibishter. Why did the Eibishter have to make two separate oidas? He was made at Tzimtzum, and now he made a Mokum Cholol. And now he's going to create the world. And he's going to let out a little bit of a light. So decide, you want to give out a beam of light as a straight beam, or you want it to send it out in Igulim. Why does he have to do both? Everything. You have 10 spheres in Pchinas Igulim and 10 spheres in Pchinas Yosher. Why do you need both? Why do you need both? But this is what we're going to talk about in the Maimer, that there is something special about the oil which is Pchinas Makiv, and there's something special about the oil that's Pchinas Pnimim. And he's going to give a mashal in the human life. What does it mean, oil Makiv and oil Pnimim? And then he'll talk, what does it mean, Lamaila or Makif and Pnimim? Then he'll explain why was it necessary? Why was it necessary to make or Makif and Pnimim? He could have created everything in the world, just Makif or just Pnimim. No, the Eibishter wanted that there should be Makif and Pnimim. And then he will explain and show that the Beis Hamikdash, that the Kalim of the Beis Hamikdash, and that's the difference between the Yeriyos and the Kroshim and the walls. That's Makif. And then the Kalim of the Beis Hamikdash, that's the idea of Pnimi. And then he will talk about Avodas Hashem. What does it mean now, Avodas Hashem? Let's read it inside. And let's read again the words of the Mishnah Chassidim. So we just translate it. The Eibishter was Metzamtzim Azor, upon a Mokum Shava, and he left an equal distance in the middle, Mecholz Dada, but Mokum Ogol, and he left a vacuum which is a round space. And he draw into it kav oir dak. Derech yiridas heir b'cholahu ogal acher shel oir rochek me'ak me'in insof, a little further. Oir heir ogal sheni, even further. Ad asori gulim shehem and kesach chochma bina v'achereim boim yud sfid is the yosher ad kan dvar. When the Sachazalo said, "There's Roy Mein Shem." What is it? What's the difference? Why did David have to make two different oidas, or Makiv and Pnimi? And what's the difference? Pnimi is that there is a godly revelation in every world tailored to that world. Right? Makiv ma shenisha behelam lidei gilui. There's something which is it's concealed. It's not revealed in that place. It's present, but it's so awesome it can't be revealed. It can't be grasped. It can't be understood. It's in every place equally. But the Eibishter wanted that there should be a place, a house in this world for the Eibishter, just like Lamaila. When the Eibishter made the original Tzimtzum, he revealed himself with B'chinas Igulim v'Yosher. He wanted the Beis Hamikdash should also be in that way, that he should be revealed physically in a place that you have Kroshim and Yediyas.
What is Yosher?
Yosher straight line.
I know, but you had the oil going this way.
10 oidas went this way, and 10 oidas went this way.
Oh, so vertical and horizontal.
Yeah, well, not horizontal because they're wrapped.
All right, circular.
Yeah. Hainu. Grotz HaKadosh Baruch Hu Lizla Dira B'Tataynu Kedugmas Sereishis L'Ishtalshulis Ma'atz M'Seirim Sav L'Kach Tzibul Asas Mishkin Kedugmas Zeh Val Derech Zeh B'Veit Seilamim V'Haina Yediyas V'Akroshim Shemimikdash Shem Dugmas Oiris Makifim Elyonim Shalamaylam Atzilus Makifim Shabatzilus V'Keilim Ekoi B'Chinas Oipenim M'Ishtalshulis Mirakab Gilu Kus Mamish B'Chol Oilam Kach Oren Si V'Na Adatim B'Bein Shnei Makruvim. There is the Pnimi. The Oren was the Pnimi. The Eibishter revealed himself between the two Kruvim. Every one of the Kalim of the Beis Hamikdash had a special miracle. The Oren was Ne'adatim B'Bein Shnei Kruvim. Mizbeach Yored Eish L'Mayla. Al Derech Zeh Gam B'Menoyre Eid Silam Oyolim Sheshchina Shoyre B'Yisrael. What was the miracle that happened in the menorah? What was the miracle that happened in the Mizbeach? Huh? That wasn't a miracle because they kept on putting wood. The miracle was that there was a fire that came down. The vutza kari, the vaishen was the vutza kekelev. So that a human being can't make a fire look that way. So that was a mess. The mess that happened in the menorah. What was the mess that happened in the menorah? What was the name? What's the mess?
Burnt out.
Not that never burnt out.
The clay would blow.
Noisen b'shem and kemidas kaverta. That it ran longer than all the other natives. And that was the Eitus Shechrina Shoyda B'Yisrael. And what's the miracle that happened by the Shulchan? A little more.
No flies.
No flies is Mizbeach. Why would there be flies around bread? It was chaf. It was kept warm. It's kept warm, and they would bring it out
Fresh, like just came out of the oven.
warm and fresh, as if it just came out of the oven. So this, obviously, in the 3 weeks in the Chabad, it's a big thing. The Beis Hamikdash, they never wanted. Shalom Mesachas Tamid, Shalom Mesachas Midas, Shalom the Rambam. So the Beis Mashiach magazine this week, they had a beautiful article. A guy in Karnei HaShamron. It's funny what a person could do with his life. The guy has a degree in he had a long career, long and rich career. As a child, his father had a bakery. He moved to Karnei HaShamron and he retired. And he decided he's opening up a bakery to make lechem aponim. Jokes aside, this guy spent years. He brought down a team from Tasmania to help him build an oven. He teamed up with the professor in Tasmania. It's you fly to Australia, and from there you take a long flight to Tasmania. Huh?
I think it's an island.
It's an island of Australia. And he teamed up with a professor in Bar Ilan University. You know, there's people that grumble about how moitzik that we make a bread. You know, they try to reinvent everything. It's emes. It's also baba maisa. But it's also true that the chita that we use today for our bread is not exactly the same chita that they used bisman beis hamikdash. But
What's the simple difference?
So the simple difference is that we like everything clean and soft, and they
Sugar.
like right. And so apparently, I'm just telling you what I'm reading in the article. Their chita was more close to the type of chita they use today to make pasta, which we call dorim. So
It's free, right?
it has to be chametz free, but it has to be chita. So they got people to plant right. Oh, and then they had a problem to figure out because it has to be made an etzba, and then it has to be toifeach too for etzbos tatefach. How is it supposed to go from one etzba to four etzbos, and it's not supposed to become chametz? He says he wrote a whole book about it. How it could happen in 18 minutes? I would love to whisper to his ear that he might make a mistake in his question, because we came to the maskona that the Alter Rebbe decided that the halach is like the Rambam, that it's really 24 minutes. So if I had his ear for a second, I would tell him the problem is not as big as he thinks. But anyway, he says he figured it out. And now there's a machlokes the Gemara exactly the shape. So he has two shapes that he makes in his bakery.
And he sells it, or it's just like.
And I think it's just for learning purpose. I don't think he sells.
Oh, so kids come to.
Yeah, kids come, and he says he goes all around the world.
Really?
He says even goyim are like amazed.
He charges.
Yeah, very well. It sounds like I just said that. Like
I think it's more than that. Not Stam, he charges.
it's a lot.
fundraising.
He charges a
Doesn't
lot
charge.
of dough to go there.
Yeah, but it's unbelievable, and he has the both shittas. He doesn't like both shittas, and he says he worked really hard. And here he has his bakery, and here is one of the shittas. His bread, This is not fake. This is bread.
For smaller, but
Huh?
for smaller outside.
What does he do with this? I don't know.
They measure?
Anybody eat this?
Where is come from and on?
No, each all together. I don't know. He says it's mamish the size. He says it's mamish the size.
What do they do? What does he do with this breads?
People eat it in stomach. About tashkas. No, they stomach eat it. I don't know.
What's it
Yeah,
nice?
that was-
But
Shape with the lechem upon it?
yeah, there's two shittas. Yeah, it was panim harabit. Yes, this is one of the two shittas. Yeah, there's the shittas. There's Reb Chanina and Reb Yochanan. This is shittas Reb Chanina.
You do the upside down chesed case.
Yeah, this is that one in the picture. So he
No, that one's also going like this. Upside down.
This is one column.
yeah, this is one challah.
And what is the outer part and the inner part? I'm not. That's what the halacha requires.
Yeah, that's one of the shittas.
All right.
So that's the bottom line. And he says something really nice. And this is taka true. He says that everyone thinks that the challah is the Jewish bread or the bagel. He's right. The bagel, it came from somewhere in Germany. It's just like the falafel the Israelis did not invent. The Ashkenaz Jew didn't invent the bagel, and the Sephardi Jew didn't invent the falafel. And the same thing he says with the geflochten and the challah. It was an Eastern European nice thing that the Jewish woman decided to life for cover Shabbos. He says, "Well, I'll tell you the one bread that's a Jewish bread. Lechem aponim. Lechem aponim is a few things. First of all, it has to rise. It has to go from the thickness of etzba to 4 etzbahs, but it has to be under 18 or 24 minutes. And v'chulu, and it has to have a certain funny shape. And that shape we don't find anywhere in the antiquities. It was the Abish's bread.
We know that we don't make a menorah with 7. There's no issur to make the lechem upon them when there's no mikdash.
It's a good question. I don't know. If there's a issur on the lechem, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question.
And why they call him Napan?
Shesh leponim har, because it has a lot of faces.
What are the sources? What sources again for the two different side shapes?
It's a machlokes in the Gemara Yuma and the Menachos, Rabbi Yochanan and Chanina. So
He has all the bases covered.
he has all his bases covered. It's unbelievable. So what's Taka the Pshad, the nest? It was a miracle for no reason. It was a miracle that the bread was always fresh. You think we have shirayim from our Rebbe's tish? The original shirayim was from the Rebbeinu Shalom's tish. The original shirayim was that the kohanim were eating shirayim from the lechem aponim. So you should know the minig is nish the Metodas Moshe Rabbeinu. This minig, but in all seriousness, what's talking the pshad? Why did the Eibushter make such a miracle that the bread should be fresh? What's that? Well, so Taka the Gemara says it was like Stuki, and he said, he laughed at the lechem aponim. If the Eibushter is the Melech Malcham Lochim, king eats fresh bread. Who eats old bread? So he told him, "You're a fool." It was a special miracle that after 6, 7, 8, even 8 days, it was hot and fresh. But why is it the M is hot and fresh? That's why we're learning the Ma'amah tonight. It's hot and fresh to teach us that a mitzvah, when it comes to learning Torah, that it has to be hot and fresh. And full of Alta Zoy, Nishta met gelernt, Alta Shmatis Laboidim. Yeah, the sugi I learned when I was a Poch in Yeshiva. And this mitzvah I already did 10,068 times. I know already Ashrei Yosher Besecha by heart, and I know it backwards. Every time I eat stellt sich weg, and sagt Moide Ani, and nimmt das Siddur, and sagt Birchis Hashacha, and it's fresh. It's hot, fresh bread. It's straight out of the oven of Avos Hashem, of Yiras Hashem. Man nimmt das Siddur in the free, you open it up, and sagt mit Simcha Gedoyle. What does I? Shenot Yotazoi, Mila b'Mila, Kemoine Moes, also wie der Beitzig Edition hat gesagt, Shaloi Asani Goy, with such excitement. I always talk about the story that Rabbi Yitzchak came to Shul and he said the brachas, and he didn't say Shaloi Asani Goy. This is what happened to him. He said, I woke up in the morning, I felt so good. I couldn't hold myself in. I already made the bracha at home. So yeah. So So that's the way we have to get up. We say Krishma Shalamita. We say Krishma Shalamita. It's excitement. It's an excitement. It's an experience. And after a whole day, we make a cheshbon hanefesh, and we make a decision. There was a chassid. I forget the name. The Alter Rebbe Chassidim. He would make a cheshbon hanefesh, Krishma Shalamita, and he would say, whatever. It was what it was. But morgen wird sein gut anders. That was his whole maskon every day by Krishna. Morgen wird sein gut anders. But how do you come to saying this? If you're half asleep and you're slouched in the couch and you're trying to get to the last word, you're not going to get to saying morgen wird sein gut anders. But if it's hot, it's straight out of the oven, so it's simcha and it's chayis. So that's the Indian of the hot bread. Maybe there should be a nest that we should see it's hot. Anyway, this is going to be in the Nakuda, the Maimah that Tzemach Tzedek is going to talk about, that the base Hamikdash was built. There's the Or Makif, and then there's the Or Pnimi. And the Or Pnimi will talk about the difference between the Or Pnimi that shines through the Menorah, and through the Shulchan, and through the Mizbeach, Mizbeach Pnim, Mizbeach Chitzon, and the Or. Okay, they shall helfen, that every one of us, the takas, we should be v'shachanti b'toifa, and come, or the bread by us should be fresh.
How about the
yeah.
one that would sit for a week and then after a week, gone
Would eat it.
All right, thank you.